Welcome back to Game On, where we use sports to discuss everything related to mental health. So, if I asked you, what separates the elite from the good in sports? It's a good question, right? Having spent a couple weeks really being inundated with sports and athletes and coaches, I got to talk to them. We were talking about themselves and professional athletes. And if you listen to interviews, I remember, what was it, last year or 2 years ago when the Last Dance documentary came out, and you got to watch interviews with Michael Jordan and other members of the Bulls and Tom Brady and Kobe Bryant. And more recently, just the other week, there was an interview with Sean McVay, the head coach of the LA Rams, and sort of the balance. So what I mean to say is that when you listen to these elite athletes, the game, the sport, the competition becomes their life. They are consumed by it. And for a lot of them, they expect nothing of themselves less than perfection. It's not even like an option to lose. They demand perfection of themselves and almost expect it of themselves. And I always wish to be a fly in the wall of some of these superstar athletes. At what cost does this come? Does it come at a cost? How are they when they lose? Or how are they in other parts of life when there's so much almost obsession and consuming focus on it has to be perfect and I have to win it. Everything I do is really poured into this sport. And what does it come at a cost? And Sean McVay was pretty open about, well, on one hand, you can gain a lot of success on the field or whatever the sport is. On the other hand, what does it take away from us? And the athletes that I spoke to, they really agreed with that the ones who become really, really elite, and there's a lot of athletic, skilled people out there, but the ones who really take it to that next level, it becomes everything, whether they were track and field, whether they were soccer, whether they were basketball. That was a common refrain that's almost like what needs to happen. I wonder if that needs to happen. So my question for you is, do you need that perfection, that almost obsession, not to use that word lightly, as someone who treats a lot of OCD, in order to reach that next level? And if you don't, then you're not going to hit that next level. And let's say that is true. At what cost? And is it worth the cost? Now, to segue that into the rest of our mere mortal lives, whatever we do, right? So whether it's family or whether it's work or whether it's a hobby, like, do we set ourselves up that it needs to be all in order to be successful? So if I'm in sales, if I'm an attorney, some jobs, they demand it, and your job can be in jeopardy if it doesn't consume you, which is maybe not fair. But when we do have control over how much it consumes us to make a little bit more money or to pursue this a little bit more, do we need that to be successful? How do we determine what success is? And let's say it will translate into success. Is it worth it? And sometimes it's a very hard conversation with ourselves to ask, maybe it's true, but is it worth it? And we have to be honest with ourselves. Is it worth it? So it's really two questions. Do we need that mindset in order to hit that next level in anything? And then even if it's true, is it always worth it? And then what do you do about it? Hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a great rest of your day.